quite clear. If you want to use mic, go ahead. You can hear me with the mic, right?
Tell me if this sounds better. Does this sound better?
Sounds good. About the same.
I also hear bounce back with my voice.
Oh, okay. I'm hearing it fine. Can you turn on your video though?
Oh shoot, we're doing video. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Cool.
All right, fresh no makeup. Hold on, let me get my headphones.
Ooh, I'm excited. I'm excited to see. I hope I look professional. I just did that and then I was done. All right. It's big white background. I'm excited to see the white background.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. You have a whole setup.
No, that's weird.
Oh, wait. It did something for a second.
Oh. Okay, there's tape on it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, you got all that going on. You're in LA, right?
In LA, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I had a situation where I felt like a 70-year-old for a moment because I got an email from somebody on the internet saying, threatening me and money, and I jumped and totally believed in it.
Oof.
So basically this person said that they saw me go onto a web. I still hear myself bouncing back.
Well, you're fine on this end, if that's any consolation.
Oh, it's fine for consolation. It's just that I'm going to keep hearing myself, and then it might distract me. But I think, okay. So this person wrote to me and basically said, I saw you doing something because I snuck my way onto your computer and I can see your screen and can see you through your camera. And I did not believe it, but he had my password that I use for so many sites in the subject line. So I was like, this must be real. So I kind of freaked out. So that's why I had tape.
Yeah, well, he might have actually done that. That's kind of it's like blackmail. It's super weird.
It is, but I checked my computer and there didn't seem to be anybody on there, so I was okay. But I still have that covering my camera just in case.
Yeah, that's very fair. So right now I just want to let you know we have one person watching, Eric Whitford. He's like, "How are you doing, Joe?" I'm good. This is an interview with Marni Kinrys. She is the co-founder, right? You and Kristen.
No, well, I own the Wing Girl Method, and then Kristen's my podcast host.
Okay, so she is the owner of the Wing Girl Method dating coach thing for guys, and she also has a podcast host who's a cool girl. She's a comedian who's moving. Well, do people know that she's moving? Should I just not say that?
I think they're going to know very soon, so it's fine.
Okay.
She's been on the verge of moving all the time.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I used to be like that. Well, I'm in Austin right now, and I was traveling for about 5 months before I got here.
Amazing.
My blog used to be just about travel, but I expanded it into lifestyle in general. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So for anyone who's watching, this is Marni Kinrys. She is the founder. Founder? You're the founder, right? The sole founder.
Of what? I don't know.
Of the Wing Girl Method. And
yes, founder of the Wing Girl Method, yeah.
Yeah. She's dating coach for guys who helps guys understand girls and understand themselves and gain confidence and stuff. You're frozen, by the way. You can still hear me, right? I can still hear you. Okay,
wait,
it'll unfreeze at some point. Yeah, it'll unfreeze at some point. It's more important that we hear you.
Okay.
So it'll unfreeze. But I wanted to get her on because
I'm trying to close everything.
That might help. Yeah. Let me see if I can close a couple things too. But I thought it was really cool how she helps guys with their dating lives, and also if you're a girl, you could probably get some stuff from this too. And Project Unchained, which is going to change its name soon, is all about building a lifestyle that you want, to do what you want, when you want, why you want, where you want, and just enjoy your life. So I thought it would be really cool because not only is she help guys with their dating life, but she's also an entrepreneur herself. And I just wanted to get some to pick your brain, Marni. She has a podcast, actually, the Ask Women podcast. What's up?
Yeah, no, I was going to say it's funny because you said you traveled around for 5 months before choosing Austin, and I will say that my personality, I wouldn't say my spark for business, my personality
Yes.
definitely came from me having my backpacking experience. I had a year after high school where I went traveling for a year. It's where I developed my program and my system. Even before I had done it professionally for other people, I was doing it for myself to overcome shyness, to build confidence. So I think for anybody who has the opportunity, like exactly like you just said, like go away, go travel places, experiencing things, be scared a little bit. It's a much better foundation than college for for a lot of things that I believe.
Oh, definitely. Actually, it's funny you say that because I have a lead magnet. My free offer is an ebook that's about creating freedom through travel.
Oh, really?
I want to, but this isn't about me. I want this to be about you. So I want to hear about your
Okay.
backpacking experience.
It was the best adventure of my life. I went with my best friend. We went to Australia and New Zealand. We were supposed to go for 3 months and then extended it to a year. She fell in love and it's still over there in Melbourne with the person that she fell in love with when we were 19, which is X number of years ago. And
X meaning two. Congratulations on your 21st birthday, by the way.
Thank you. I feel so lucky to be able to drink. I'm so excited. But yeah, so I just had an amazing experience meeting wonderful people, being challenged to do things on my own. And it's really where I developed my personality. Like I always had a good personality when I was comfortable. Or when I was comfortable.
So getting yourself comfortable was the key, and you say that when you backpacked through Australia, it was the putting yourself out of your comfort zone that really got you into being comfortable. You could say, right?
Well, that was part of it. It was also the fact that I was able to make friends and have confidence in the fact that I was an interesting person. And as I gained more experiences and became more interesting because I was having experiences, good and bad, I could share more of myself with other people. But ultimately, it was my best friend that I was with who was one of the most outgoing girls I had ever met. Like literally, she would go out on the balcony at our hostel and she'd come back with 10 friends. She would go for a cigarette. So at first I was like, smoking. That's how I'll make friends. And then afterwards, I'm like, this is not working and my lungs are killing. I have to do something else. And so when we were in Auckland, New Zealand, I gave myself my first exercise, which is one of the exercises that are in most of my programs, which don't have anything to do with women, but have to do with building confidence. It's going out and saying hi to 10 people.
Nice.
And for me, it took me over 2 hours to accomplish that. And listen, I am cute now, but I was cuter a long time ago. So when I was 19, 20, I was a cute girl going up to people. It shouldn't have taken me 2 hours, but it did. And I gave myself that assignment until I became comfortable. And then I would give myself new assignments. And I would raise the bar every single time. And then I would create scavenger hunt lists where there were things that I had to do that if I didn't do them, I wasn't able to go home. And
that's so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And slowly over time, I just
you built your comfort zone. You expanded it.
Exactly. And I did it in baby steps. And so a lot of the guys that I work with, even though they come to me because they're like, I don't know how to attract girls, I keep ending up in the friend zone. Most of them have that base of not going after what they want and not being comfortable with themselves and not owning who they are. And that's what I first help them tackle before I provide them with the how-to of attracting, dating, getting, and keeping a girl if they so choose.
Yeah, we were actually talking just about this. We had a short conversation about an hour ago just to get a little, just to get a little rapport between us and understand each other a bit more. And I was saying how I really like your I'm part of your program and I listen to your podcast a lot. I really like your program because you talk a lot about the emotional foundation. And I think there are so many dating coaches who probably either don't get it themselves or are kind of preying on the people who would go for dating advice. They have insecurities because stuff isn't working for them. And there's so many people who prey on that and are like, here's what the step-by-step thing you do, and then not really explaining the fact that you need to be like me as a guy. I can say whatever I want and I might trick a girl, but the thing is, if I'm not confident, that's going to be temporary. And if I'm not comfortable in myself and know who I am, then that's just going to be like I'm performing. And once the performance breaks, the real me is going to show through. So you have to have that foundation first. And I really love, I mean, in Wing Girl Method, the first packet is like the discovering your attractive self. Or something like that, where you're like, who are you, first of all? What do you stand for? What do you want? And what is attractive about you?
Yeah.
I do want to say real quick, you're still frozen, so I'm gonna hang up the call and then get you right back on. I don't want to lose our flow, so it'll take literally 2 seconds.
Okay.
All right, so just letting you guys know. Thanks, I appreciate it, Eric. And I see that Kiam is watching also. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send them in the comments below. This is a live interview. It's also going to be repeated. I'm going to put it up on YouTube and the podcast. So don't you fret. If you have any questions that you want me to ask her now, put it in the comments. And she's actually back on right now.
I am. Hello. Hopefully it's not frozen.
Yeah. Yep, there you are. Hello. You are animated.
Hi. Am I moving now? Okay, good.
You're moving.
Good. Yes. I did want to make one comment on what you had said before, because like in the past, I guess I was opposed to a lot of male dating coaches and what they taught and what they put out there. I don't really believe that any of those coaches are thinking, I'm tricking these people into doing these things that don't really work. I just think that they're passing on the knowledge that they gained from other people that did happen to boost their confidence and help them in certain areas. I don't think that it's manipulation that's happening, but I do think that a lot of those people, and I've been in that industry for a very long time, so I know a lot of them. I know that a lot of them later on find the base portion and they realize that they were missing it in the beginning. But I think in the beginning, listen, anything that gets you out there and gets you trying things is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Instead of just sitting there in your ass thinking, okay, why am I not getting girls? Taking action and going after what you want is wonderful no matter what.
Yeah, I just want to clarify. I didn't mean to diss all the dating coaches out there trying hard to help guys out.
No, I didn't
yeah, sometimes it's not necessarily people's intention to give the wrong information, but I think sometimes, when you start teaching, you don't necessarily know what's working, but you just kind of spurt out the information you think's working, and then after time you realize that, hey, this is the information that's actually working. And I do want to highlight it, but you definitely know what you're talking about because you've been in the industry a long time. And I'm actually curious about that. You have this video on YouTube, which actually got me after I listened to the podcast. You said something about the Wing Girl Method. I looked it up, and there's this YouTube video, which is a bunch of text that shares the story about you and your friend going to this bar, and it really intrigued me. And if you could just relate that story in a short form, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, basically, I would watch my guy friends fail and fumble with girls over and over again. And then one night, my guy friend said to me, can you, come and just watch me approach girls and tell me what I'm doing wrong? Because obviously I'm not figuring it out. And so I went with him to this place called the Rose and Crown, and we were there, and he was picking up girls, and I was horribly embarrassed to be with him because he was doing things that he thought were right and good, and they were absolutely horrible. And I was able to give him a little bit of advice and a little bit of insight into how women work, and it totally transformed the way that he interacted with girls. Like he already had that confidence piece. I think that my friend didn't have the tools, which is what I teach in the second half of most of my programs, the actual tools you need. So once you have those tools and you have that base of thinking you're awesome and believing it and being proud of who you are, then you can be a killer. And what ended up happening was I ended up dating him a little bit later because he became a bit of a stud. He did really well with women, and the things that he was doing with these other women, it was transferring over to our friendship, and I just saw him differently. So then we ended up dating for a little bit.
It's interesting that you say that because he was essentially in the friend zone for you, and I'm curious about that concept, because obviously he got out of it. And I'm curious if you were to share that with, like, I guess generalize it with guys, like, is there such thing as a friend zone? Or is it just like, here's where our relationship is right now and it's always subject to change?
It depends on who you're talking to, because yes, anything can change if things change. If you, I guess, in theory, become a different person, meaning that I see something different from you and you're making me feel things that are different than what I was feeling before towards you, then absolutely I can shift the way that I see you. So for most guys, being in the friend zone just means that you're not sparking anything within the woman that you're interested in that has her saying, like, I want to see you naked, I want you to see me naked, and then like, let's hang out in that way. Like, I had no interest in kissing my friend Dave. I had no interest in being sexual with him. I literally just saw him as another person in my life that I enjoyed, but didn't spark any attraction within me.
Well, what was it from him that sparked the attraction, if you can pinpoint that?
He started flirting with me. He started being playful with me. He started teasing me. Like, these things all came after we had talked about how he has to make a woman feel him, and that he can't just be agreeable, and he can't just appease a woman. And when he started doing all of these things, then I felt butterflies. I felt like I was on my toes when chatting with him. And I always thought he was intelligent. He always had that side to him. He had a great brain. He knew he was a very smart person.
He gave great brain.
Gave great brain. But like, when he would get into flirting mode, he would just become this like robotic, dumbed down version of himself. And that was nothing. Like, absolutely none of his personality would show through. And so when he was able to tap into that, he was able to transform how I saw him and how other women saw him. So for example, if he was out with a girl and she said something to him like, you know, are you here by yourself, or something like that, to sort of like banter with him and put him down, and he said, oh yeah, he would have before said, oh yeah, I am by myself, are you by yourself? Like, he would have said something as simple as that, which is like, it's an honest response, but it doesn't start anything, it doesn't engage anything. And so instead, what he learned to do was he learned to take in somebody's comments and sort of battle back with them. It's a Monday. I have horrible wording for what I'm trying to say right now. But he would like play a game of volleyball where he's like, okay,
it's like a battle of wits.
Toss. Right, toss it back over. Yeah, exactly. And so instead, he would say something kind of witty, and he would be like, no, I'm here with my 3 friends. Can you not see them? I've been talking to them the entire evening. Like, to play around with her, because then that gets him to sort of pay attention to him, because she's like, wait a second.
Like, start a little mischief.
You're like messing around with me. You're fun. You're exciting. You're interesting. Your brain works in a different way. And so I know that they're little things, but it's like, as soon as a guy learns to take in what a woman says, use it, shift it, and play around with it, and that's what I teach men how to do.
Yeah. Well, there's a really, I guess it's like maybe it's like a pickup technique, but it's more like a conversational technique that I've heard, which is agree and amplify. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's something that like, for instance, trying to think of an example, because I don't really like drinking and I don't like to pick up girls at bars. I actually go to bars if I want to sing or dance, because I love singing and I love dancing. So I pick up girls other places. I don't really pick, because like, you're competing and the girls are all on their edge at a bar. I don't really like that environment.
And it's not your place as well. That's what you
said. It's not my place.
It's not your liking.
Unless I'm singing or dancing, and that's where I have a lot of fun. But there was one night where I was going out with my friends on East 6th Street. 6th Street is a huge area in Austin. And East 6th Street is a little bit different than West 6th Street, because there's like trashy 6, and then there's like interesting, artsy, dancey 6, which is East 6th Street. And I gotta try somebody. Man, I don't remember the exact situation where I like used what they call agree and amplify, but I'll make something up. Like, for instance, if a girl was like, "Are you alone?" I would probably be like, "Yeah, like I'm so lonely. I'm with friends, and I need some friends, and the last person I talked to is my right hand. It really doesn't talk back that much, and just you kind of like agree and just like that. Push it to extreme level, and it's a really easy, fun way to like to turn a conversation into something flirty. And I'm curious if there's like a way, like for my listeners who are like, how do I start this jokey aspect in my flirting life? What would you suggest to them?
Exactly what you just said. I love that. Agree and amplify. It's a great way to be able to visualize that because you're just taking it to that next level. But for some people, if they aren't able to visualize that, they're like, well, where do I go from here so that it's not too extreme? So the number one piece of advice I have is practice and see what works and see what people respond to. So like I was talking about with me going out in public and having to do 10 approaches every single day, you can do the same thing where you can strike up conversation with 10 people, whether it's on the phone, whether it's in person, whether it's in the office, and you can try amplifying, to agree and amplify, and try different extremes, different tactics, and see what ends up working for you. Something else you can do is you can go to improvisation classes, because I think that's a really great place to develop your wit. Yeah, in a safe place. And then also you can start watching comedy. Like just watch like a stand-up show every single night to start to understand cadence and the way that storytelling works. And it's just like something really wonderful that you can do to hone a skill.
Sure. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just looking every now and then at the Facebook Live to see if anybody has any questions. I got one person watching right now. Hey, how's it going, Heriberto? This is Marni Kinrys. She is the founder of the Wing Girl Method, a coach for guys. And if you have any questions, then just comment them and I'll ask them for her. It's interesting you say that because one of the things that I've noticed, because there's one guy that I was trying to, I don't know if you saw the post where I tagged the Wing Girl Method in it. It's okay. It was just like a little lead up to this interview. I tagged the Wing Girl Method. There was a guy I met when I was traveling. I was in Eastern Europe. You know where Latvia is?
I do, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I was in Latvia because half the people, and I've asked like, oh, I don't know where that is. And so it's okay. But there's a guy that I was talking to, and I was in a naturally flirty state. And I was just like talking to people that were walking by and just having fun with them. And he was like, how do you do that? How, like, I don't understand. And so I tried to get him to ask 10 girls just what time it was, because he was so nervous that he probably couldn't. I probably couldn't have. Wasn't even able to get him to do that. But he was so nervous where he just couldn't ask what time it was, and I kind of felt for him. And I'm curious, like for guys who are super super nervous and want to get a dating life, what would you suggest?
You have to start with baby steps. If you have a hard time going up to like a super hot girl with like huge boobs and a beautiful smile, you're gonna have a great time. And I mean, most likely you have a hard time also approaching like an old man sitting on the corner. So you have to start off with those people, master them first, and then work your way up. I know for some people they're like, I don't have that much time. Like, the thing is, it doesn't take a lot of time. You can practice human interaction every single day to get out of your house for an hour a day. So whether it's talking to the person while you're waiting at the bus stop, the person in the elevator, the person in line standing beside you waiting for coffee, the person at your office, you can try and practice new things to add to your conversation and really just push yourself. For me, I like doing something scary every single day. And if it scares me and it makes me feel uncomfortable, it means I'm supposed to do it.
Interesting. It reminds me a lot of what JFK's wife said. I forgot her name. Yeah, well, it was either her or it was Eleanor Roosevelt. It was one of the famous first ladies, and she was talking about if it scares you, that means you have to do it. I'm paraphrasing, but it was exactly
I believe there's a famous saying from Eleanor Roosevelt. I don't know what it is, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, basically, like if it doesn't scare you, like, I mean, do it, but then you're not going to grow from it. You're not going to learn from it. For me, I used to be in plays when I was younger. And before I went on stage, my stomach was in knots. And I learned to love that feeling because it meant that it was going to be a great performance. And I could obviously say, no, I'm not going to go out there on stage and do something, or I could use that energy and push things forward and give a great performance. And it always ended up being absolutely amazing. Whenever I wasn't nervous, it was like a so-so night.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. It's like the difference. It's like the same energy. Being nervous and being excited are the same energy, and the only difference is where you are in relation to looking at that feeling.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that like some people are like, how is this going to help me with girls? But the thing is that if you do not turn yourself on and you don't like yourself and you can't like push yourself to do things, then other people are not going to help pull that out of you, especially women. You have to come to that table as that person, right? And that's how you attract more people. You attract more people by being open. If you're closed off, no like really great woman's going to come up and say, please talk to me, please open up, please show me your personality. She's got a million other people to focus on. And plus she's probably nervous as well. So she's not going to make that effort with you. And it's not her responsibility. And the thing is like, if you don't like yourself, how is somebody else going to like you?
Yeah. And that's one of the things, like my friend, I was talking to him recently. He went on this date, and he's a Mexican American. So like his family's from Mexico. I think he was born here, but his parents, I believe at least one of them is from Mexico. And the first thing, she got into the car and the first thing she said was I don't like Mexicans. And she was but she actually meant it. She was like a brat. And I was like, and he called me up and complained. We actually hung out later that night. He complained about how horrible the date was, and I'm like, dude, you should have kicked her out the first 5 minutes. Like, I'm not going to hear you. I'm a little bit of a blunt friend. I'm like that friend that tells you what you need to hear. And I'm like, I'm not going to listen to you complaining because you should have kicked her out in the first 5 minutes. So stop complaining and learn to value yourself.
Exactly. And listen, or you could take that as an opportunity to educate and show them like how freaking amazing Mexicans are by not being rattled by that statement and reversing somebody's opinion on Mexicans. I mean, I'm sure he wasn't ready for that, but like, there's a lot that you can do. It's only your fault if you just take it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a harsh thing to say, but the thing is, once you realize that you're the person who's attracting everything in your life, you take responsibility for your life, or at least for your state.
Yeah.
I think that's when magic happens.
Yeah. Here, I'll tell you a situation. It's not about dating. So right now, I'm trying to hire a nanny. Okay. Our nanny is going to become a teacher. And so we had 4 people come over.
Sure.
Some of them I liked, some of them I didn't like. This one woman I didn't really like so much, but my husband liked her and my son liked her. And so I followed up with her and said, can we get some references? And so, and she said, yeah, I'll get it to you. I just asked my references for it now. I didn't hear from her the whole next day. And because people in my family liked her and I didn't really like her, I continued to follow up with her. And it is bothering me like crazy that I was following up with this person who was not giving me that same respect. And so after the second time of following up with her, I took a step back and I said to my husband and to my son, I'm sorry, we're not going to work with this girl because she is showing me either she doesn't want to work with us or she's a flaky person. Either thing I don't like. On to the next person. And so, but in the past, like before doing anything for the Wing Girl method, oh my God, I would have hounded this person and chased them down and be heartbroken and like really offended that she wasn't responding back in any way. And it's very parallel to a lot of the things that my clients experience every single day. And what my job is to do as a Wing Girl is say, like, you are way better than this. Don't waste your time, cut this person off, go to the next person. And it's very challenging for a lot of people because in their head, they don't have an abundance mentality. So that one girl, they kind of have her, so they have to.
It's like make or break, And so it's interesting you say that. Yeah, no, I think that's great because like now that I'm stepping into more of a coaching role, because this is somewhat recent for me to be like, I'm going to figure out how I can teach others. The more I realize exactly what you're saying. My friend actually called me up the other day, and he's a guy that I look to for girl advice because I'm not an expert. I'm not amazing. I get rejected a lot, and I get I have a lot of success, but I'm also just a regular dude with regular mistakes. What?
I mean, the top CEOs in the world are part of masterminds. You know what I mean? They still need friends to bounce ideas off. So
exactly. And he, to a group where there's another guy that we're both teaming up to help, and he actually right now he's hanging out with a girl, which is pretty cool. And I was really happy because he he was enjoying kind of just complaining about this one girl that I won't say anything that's identifying, but he was just complaining about how this girl won't
Tracy?
text him back. Huh?
I said, "Oh, Tracy." No,
yeah, it's Tracy. Totally Tracy. Don't get mad at me, Tracy. But he was complaining about her over and over again and being like, she won't message me back. She keeps flaking. We're like, set your own boundaries and figure out when you want to let go. And we're trying to help him understand that his needs should be paramount in his own life. And that's something that I feel is extremely important because, and this is a really good quote. You know a guy named Tucker Max?
Yeah.
Okay. He actually lives in Austin. I tried to network with him, but he's a little bit hard. If you're not in the industry, it's hard to get a hold of. But on his podcast, another one I listened to, Mating Grounds, he spoke a lot about how issues with women are really manifestations of emotional issues. And I'm curious about what you think about that.
I agree.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Pretty straightforward.
It's so funny. We had Tucker Max on our podcast like a while ago.
Yeah.
And I met him at a dinner like 11 years ago when he was doing like his asshole thing. And all I thought was, oh my God, this person is an asshole. And then realized that was like his shtick. But I actually really admired the things that he was saying when he came onto our podcast, where he was at the stage where he was done with the player stage of being an asshole. I mean, he still is an asshole. But coming onto that stage of wanting a girlfriend and speaking about dealing with your stuff and figuring out what's going on and getting clear on who you are and what you want. And I completely agree with that, of what he said. I'd love to hear in more detail what he was talking about specifically, but I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I kind of like to use my life. Like, even if it's a one-night stand, it's like a mini relationship. Like, I'm not treating you like an object. I'm treating you like a short version of a relationship where there's sex and not really talking too much, but there's still emotions involved. Even if they're involved at a small level, they're still like within me. And I think that that's an important thing to understand, is that if your emotions are in the right place, the rest kind of comes easily.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Cool. So I wanna transition a little bit to your entrepreneurial journey, and then I think that would be a good bit of content to give my viewers.
Okay. Well, what do you want to know?
So, what were you doing before you started the Wing Girl method?
I was working in television film production for a short period of time. I was obsessed with that since the age of like 16. And then I was working at a PR company because I was in Canada. I'm from Toronto originally. And I was working television and film. And I was looking for any opportunity that would get me into the entertainment industry and sponsor me to come down to the United States. And so I took a job at a PR firm, which I hated, but I did it and I was there. And while I was there, that's when I started my company.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you hate about it, and what prompted you to start your company?
I hated the fact that I didn't believe in anything that I was selling people on. And I didn't like it. I didn't like PR until I started doing my own PR, until I believed in what I was selling people. And then I actually felt really bad because I was like, oh, now I get it. I know how I could have done this before. I could have actually kicked ass at PR. But it just wasn't my calling. It wasn't my thing. Being in an office wasn't my thing either. And while I was working at the PR firm, I happened to be at a singles mixer at a rabbi's house, and nobody was talking to each other. So I would grab some men and start conversations with women, and when they were good, I would go on to other people, and by the end of the night, people were exchanging phone numbers, like 2 people were making out. It was awesome. And so I went home. I want to do what I did tonight. I want to be a wing girl. And he's like, I don't even know what a wing girl is. That doesn't exist. But guys they don't care what women think, and they don't want a woman's help in getting girls. And I was like, I don't think you're right. I'm really good at doing this, because I had been doing it for my friends for so long,
the thing that's coming to mind You know the Fiddler on the Roof, right?
Yeah.
So you're at a rabbi's house making matches, and the first thing that came to mind was
I was like, where's
matchmaker,
connecting
matchmaker,
to?
make me a match, find me a find, catch me a catch.
Oh my god! The Jewish community loved me at first because they're like, "Oh my god, you're doing mitzvahs, you're doing wonderful matchmaking stuff, amazing, blah blah blah, bring Jewish people together." They were so happy.
Yeah.
And then I branched out into other areas, but yeah, people were really intrigued by what I was doing. So initially, it was me and another one girl, and we'd go out with you and we'd pick up women for you.
Yeah.
And then what
exciting.
was that it was great.
I do want to real quick hang up and call you back again because you are frozen. But let me just do that real quick.
Okay.
All right, folks, if you're still watching, what I want you to do is if you have any questions for Marni Kinrys, let me know, message me, or just comment right here and I will ask her. And we're calling her again. All right. Okay. All right. It's good to see you again. It's been a while.
It's been 3 seconds. The worst 3 seconds ever.
I was like, I'm so nervous. Is she gonna pick up? I don't know. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, I may not have. Who knows? You actually remind me. Do you know Josh Pellitzer from the Tao of Badass? He was big 5 years ago. You
no, sorry. No, I didn't know him. 5 years ago, I was still hopelessly lost with girls.
I know, but he would have been the resource for you. He had a really good book that came out. So, but you look exactly like him.
Oh, thanks. I've been told I look like several people, and I appreciate that. That makes me feel good. I'm blushing. The guys,
looking,
huh?
You look like
him. Thanks. The guys that broke my my dating advice cherry were Jesse and Kong from Simple Pickup. I don't know if you know them.
Yes, I love them.
Yeah, they're cool people. They're also there in LA with you guys. They broke my my dating advice cherry, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, I actually just interviewed. He actually said that he met you or talked to you or something. George Katz.
They're wonderful.
You know George Katz?
I've met so many people. Who is he?
I can imagine. It's probably he's probably in one of those forums with you because I remember you talking in one of your podcasts about like a seduction worldwide like forum of people in the industry. Anyway, I told him that I interviewed him last week, and I told him I was interviewing you this week. He's like, "Oh, I just chatted with her," so it must have been like a brief conversation or something.
Oh God, I'm horrible. Yeah, maybe.
It's okay. It's okay. You can be horrible. It's fine. I'm probably worse. I'm probably worse. I've made a lot of enemies by like disagreeing with people, but that's okay.
No, but that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been standing up for what you. That's okay. Let me just let's end on that note. And then I'm gonna turn the live cast off and the recording off, and I have a quick couple questions for you. When it comes to standing for
low or something on your phone.
Oh yeah, it is.
Or something.
Yeah, it's low, but it's fine now.
Okay.
So I'm actually curious, when it comes to a guy standing for what he wants, apparently that's something that so many people want, but like there's so few guys who do that. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on a guy standing for something.
I think it's one of the sexiest things in the entire world when a man stands for something, believes in something.
Mm-hmm.
When he puts other people down or disrespects others because of his thoughts and feelings and point of view, that's when it can get a little bit muddy. That's not very attractive. Like but if somebody has a purpose, has drive, has passion, that's amazing.
Cool. So to all the readers out there, that's something that I also believe in and I think is important to understand is figure out who you are, what you want in life. And of course, with Project Unchained, whose name is going to be changing, I'm going to help you get there, help you gain the clarity of what you want, help you understand it's possible, and help you gain the tools you need. Like with Marni here, I'm going to ask her one last question, which will help you with this. But what kind of things will help you if your goal is dating. Got a couple of things here that in this interview that will help you. So Marni, I have one more question for you, and then I'll have you share whatever you want with our viewers. The last question is for guys who want to get more out of their dating life or want to just get more comfortable with women. We talked about this a little bit, but what would you suggest they do?
Well, I think the number one thing that we talked about that would be very helpful is going and taking an improvisation class, and then going online and getting information and seeing what resonates with you and go out and practice those things. Like, you have to know who you are, right? And if you read something, you're like, that doesn't sound like me, then I would probably steer clear of it. But if you read something, you're like, that makes me uncomfortable to do, then you have to do it. 100%. Because you have to see what resonates with you, but if you shy away because something scares you, that's not going to be very helpful for you. So an improvisation class, and then going and watching videos or reading resources about whatever seems to be the biggest issue for you. If your issue is that you're constantly labeled as a nice guy, go and Google Mr. Nice Guy and see what pops up and see which resources pop out at you. And I'm sure at least 5 of those are going to have things that you can try and do differently, and go out and try them. Try to do them. And if you don't want to go on the internet and find a million different resources, either, work with Joe and sign up for his programs, or work with me and go to wingirlmethod.com and sign up for one of my systems, because it's got everything in one place. But in order to make change, you have to take action and do. And that's the only thing that's going to alter how things happen for you and how people see you and how you see yourself.
That's a big step. And of course, I'm just going to add to that. I feel like mindset is a really, really important step. So now I'll have you share whatever you like with our viewers. And if you want to, whatever you like, let me just your message time.
Okay. A message is that, that's what I usually say at the end of interviews, is that in order to get what you want, you have to ask for it. And which means that you have to speak up, you have to represent yourself. Nobody else is going to do things for you. So you cannot get what you want without asking for it. So start figuring out what you want, and then open your mouth and ask for it.
Cool. Awesome. So that's that. I'm going to sign off of live, and I'm going to be editing this for you guys, putting it on YouTube, writing a blog post about it, and putting it on Apple Podcasts, on the Unchain Yourself podcast, which again is, the name's going to change soon. I've gained some clarity on that. Wish you guys the best. If you have any questions for me or for her, I can email them to her and see if she wants to reply. Then just message me or comment on this post. Ciao. Cool. Awesome.
Thank you. That's cool.
Yeah.